Vacations are supposed to be safe, pools, laughter, families making memories. But what if the stranger sitting quietly near you isn't just another guest? What if he's waiting for the perfect moment when no one is watching? This is the story of how one summer trip turned into a nightmare, and how a monster hiding in plain sight almost destroyed a family. My name is Alex, and I'm 12 years old. Last summer, my family, mom Sarah, dad Mike, my 8-year-old brother Ben, and I went on a vacation to the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. We stayed at the Kalahari Resort, a massive place known for its indoor water parks and scenic views of green hills and a winding stream. The sound of the water was soothing at night, and during the day, the sunlight made everything look like a painting. It was our first big trip since Dad got a new job, and we were thrilled. We drove 3 hours from New Jersey, arriving on a bustling Friday afternoon. The lobby was packed with families, kids darting around with pool floats. Our third-floor room had a balcony overlooking the hills, and Mom called it perfect for unwinding. Ben and I shared a bed, and our room had a small kitchenette with a fridge. That first day, the weather was hot, around 85 degrees, so we hit the outdoor pool. The area was lined with lounge chairs, umbrellas, and pine trees, with the stream sparkling below. Ben and I splashed around, playing Marco Polo. He's not a great swimmer, but he can doggy paddle. That's when I noticed a man sitting at the pool's edge. He was about 40, with short brown hair, a mustache, and sunglasses, dressed in a plain white t-shirt and cargo shorts. He wasn't swimming or with anyone, just watching. I thought he might be a lifeguard at first, but he had no uniform. Ben whispered, "That guy's staring at us." I brushed it off, but it felt odd. Every time we climbed out to jump back in, his head turned our way. On Saturday, after soggy pancakes from the hotel buffet, we returned to the pool. The man was there again. Same spot, holding a newspaper he barely read. Ben pointed him out, and I told him to ignore it. Maybe the guy was just a lonely guest. Mom and Dad were engrossed in their books, oblivious. We played for hours, but the man didn't move. When we left for lunch at the hotel's pizza place, I glanced back. He was gone. Sunday was more of the same. We explored the indoor water park in the morning, slides, and a lazy river, but returned to the outdoor pool in the afternoon. There he was again. Ben whispered, "Alex, he's following us." I laughed it off, but unease settled in. He never spoke to anyone, just watched. Kids, especially us. Once when Ben dropped his towel near him, the man picked it up with a smile. Ben said thanks and ran to me, whispering that the guy smelled like cigarettes. That night, over burgers in our room, I told Mom about him. She said, "Probably just a guest, don't worry, but stay close." Dad nodded, saying some people are just weird. Monday evening, things took a dark turn. We'd spent the day hiking a trail near the hotel, marveling at the rolling hills and deer darting through the trees. Back at the resort, Ben and I were restless. After dinner, while Mom and Dad watched Netflix, we begged to play hide and seek in the hotel's long, carpeted hallways. Mom agreed, only on our floor, and be back in 30 minutes. I was the seeker first, counting to 50 by the elevator while Ben giggled and ran off. The hallway was quiet, lights humming softly. I checked behind the ice machine and near the stairs, calling Ben's name softly. No answer. After 10 minutes, my heart raced. He wasn't this good at hiding. I returned to our room and knocked. Mom opened the door, but Ben wasn't there. Dad jumped up, and we searched the hallway, stairs, and vending area. Nothing. We rushed to the lobby, thinking Ben might have taken the elevator by mistake. The front desk clerk, Karen, hadn't seen a kid alone. My stomach churned. Ben was scared of getting lost. He wouldn't wander off. We checked the closed pool area, the arcade, everywhere. Mom was crying, saying, "This can't be happening." Dad called hotel security. 2 uniformed guards asked for Ben's description: short brown hair, blue t-shirt, sneakers. They searched the grounds with flashlights, the hills now dark and ominous, and our past with no sign of Ben. Dad called the Pocono Township Police. 2 officers, a man and a woman, arrived and took our statements. I mentioned the man at the pool, how he'd been watching us. They nodded, asking for details: mustache, white t-shirt, about 5 feet 10. Checking the hotel registry, they found a match Robert Hayes, room 115, second floor, a solo guest from out of state. The police and security went to his room while we waited in the lobby, my hands shaking as I clung to Mom Dot after what felt like forever. We heard shouting and footsteps from upstairs. The female officer returned, radio crackling, and said, "We found the boy." My heart leapt. They later explained, when they knocked on Hayes' door, he opened it calmly but grew nervous when asked to let them search. Inside, they found Ben in the closet, bound with zip ties, duct tape over his mouth. He was terrified but unharmed. Hayes had grabbed him during hide and seek, covering his mouth and dragging him downstairs to his room, hissing, "Be quiet, or I'll hurt you." When police found Ben, Hayes panicked, pulling a kitchen knife from his bag and lunging at an officer, yelling, "Get out." The officer dodged, and they tackled and cuffed him after a struggle. Ben was sobbing when they brought him down. I hugged him tightly as he clung to me, whispering about hiding behind a plant. The police took Hayes away. He had a record prior arrests for stalking kids in other states. He wasn't supposed to be near children, but had slipped through the cracks. The hotel comptar stay and apologized profusely. We drove home the next day in silence. Ben had nightmares for weeks, and I couldn't sleep without checking the locks. The beautiful hills and stream now feel tainted, a reminder of how quickly things can go wrong. That vacation was supposed to be a happy memory, but it taught me that danger can lurk even in the most picturesque places. Parents, keep your kids close. Monsters don't always look like monsters.